So this is a dumbbell pull workout, and you can do this one in combination with the dumbbell push workout. So both of these workouts are short, about 10 minutes long. You need a pair of dumbbells for this or some other weighted implement. So I'm just doing some mobility work to warm up here. So this is a functional crawl with twist. Some people refer to this as the greatest stretch in the world. It does feel pretty good. It's a hip opener. It mobilizes the mid-spine and the shoulders. So I'm just doing a few of these, about 5 or so on each side. I like to do some dynamic mobility before workouts, just to get the muscles warmed up, get the joints moving. It just helps you to move better and feel better when you come to do the loaded work. And then moving on to a deep squat with spine twist. This is a really good squat mobility exercise. So you just raise the arms up, follow the hand with your eyes, try and get that rotation through the mid spine while keeping your hips down low in between your thighs. Keep your feet flat here. You may not be able to get quite as deep into the squat as I do here. It's taken a lot of practice, and everybody's range of motion is different. And then I'm doing another hip opener. So this is a reverse lunge with an overhead reach. So I'm stretching out the hip flexors, stretching out the abdomen, stretching out the mid spine and the shoulders, getting a really good stretch that just opens everything up, makes you feel really loose and good to go, makes you feel really upright and straight. Deep breath in as you go down into that stretch. This is just an example of some dynamic mobility. You can do your own little routine. And here I am just swinging the arms, doing some huggers to try and just open up the chest and shoulders a little bit. And then I'm going to do some shoulder rotations. I like to call these space invaders because you look a little bit like a space invader when you do it. Right, so the first exercise with the dumbbells is a Romanian deadlift. Why it's called a Romanian deadlift, I don't know. I assume that means it was invented in Israel. That's a joke, by the way. So we want to brace the abs, keep the chest proud, keep the spine straight. Notice the alignment there. So ear, shoulder and hip are in a straight line all the way through. You push the bum back, hinging the hips and not flexing the spine or rounding the back. You're pushing the bum back like you're pushing a door shut with your arse. Slight flexion of the knees. You should feel that stretch in your hamstrings and your glutes, so through the back of the hips and the back of your legs. Notice that my toes are elevated. I do that because it helps me to feel my hamstrings more. If you have tight hamstrings, you won't need to do that. You'll feel them, trust me. And then moving on, we're doing the bent over row. So again, hinging the hips, we're in that deadlift position. Start with the weights in front of your shoulders and pull back to your hips, so you're getting a nice stretch through the fibres of the upper back and the mid back. So we're mostly working on the lats and the rhomboids here. So 10 of those. And then standing upright, we're going to do some biceps curls. Nice and slow. Notice the pace here. We're not swinging the back, we're not using momentum here. So you pull the weight up, squeeze the bicep, and then slowly down, keeping tension in the biceps. That eccentric load, the lowering phase, is where you really build the strength and the hypertrophy, because if you want to build big muscles, you need mechanical tension and overload to achieve that. So doing fast reps won't be as effective. So nice strict form on those ones. And just setting the weights down, you can do a little bit of mobility. This is about 30 seconds or so rest. So I'm just doing a little bit of active recovery there. I'm doing some shoulder openers, lifting the chest, extending the mid-spine, getting some deep breaths down through the diaphragm. Quick little hamstring stretch. Then we're going to go for another round, so it will be the Romanian deadlift again. So the difference between the Romanian deadlift is that it's a pull. You start from a standing position and push the bum back, whereas with a traditional deadlift you're pulling the weight off the floor. So again, chest proud, brace the abs, keep tension through your core. Push your bum back like you're shutting the door, slamming a car door. Keep that tension through the back of the legs the whole time. Don't force the depth. If you can't get as low as me, don't force it. You want to keep feeling tension, keep feeling that stretch through the back of your legs the whole time. So again, it's working on that eccentric phase, stretching the hamstrings, eccentrically loading the muscles. And then again we go into the row. So again we've got that hip hinge position, bum back, chest proud, chin in. Look how flat my back is. Depending on your posture, your back will look different to mine, but we ideally want to be in a neutral position. So again, you can draw that straight line from my ear through my shoulder down to my hip. And as I just tighten the plates on the dumbbells, we're going to go into the arm curls next. Again, standing, elbows tucked in by the side, squeeze the weight up, resist it down slowly. Don't lock the arms out at the bottom. So if you're holding the dumbbells in the same manner that I am here, as they touch your hips, your elbows will still be off lock at the bottom. That's important to maintain tension through the muscles throughout the exercise. And we're doing 10 of these. You could do more, you could do less. It depends on the weight you're using. If you have a light weight, do more reps, go close to failure on each set. Just set the timer there, so another 30-second recovery period, just doing some shoulder rolls there. So always try and do a little bit of active recovery between sets. Concentrate on your breathing. So deep breaths, using the diaphragm, pulling that breath down into your abdomen. Inflate the abdomen on inhale, hollow the abdomen on exhale. None of this shallow chest breathing. Just wait for the heart rate to slow down a little bit, and then we're going to go into the last round, another 10 reps of the Romanian deadlift. So again, start in that tall position, push the bum back, knees are off lock, so slightly flexed knees, but feeling that tension through the hamstrings. As I said, I elevate my toes, so if you're very flexible through the hamstrings and you tend not to feel them, elevating the toes, maybe putting your toes on something to raise them up, or just literally just curling the toes up towards you will help you to feel the hamstrings engage more. If you're tight in the hamstrings, as I said, then you won't need to do that, you'll feel them. And we'll move on to the last set of the rows. Remember, the rows are working that mid and upper back. Britt was just starting to fatigue there, so I had a quick stretch. Really squeeze the back at the top of the motion. Keep that tension in the back of your shoulders and the mid-spine area. Keep that hip hinge position. So pushing the bum back, don't let the back round when you're doing these. And then the last set of curls. And because those rest periods are quite short, it's starting to get difficult now, The biceps are small muscles. Usually I don't like to do a lot of isolation work. I'm not a bodybuilder, but everyone likes to have good guns, don't they? So whereas the deadlift and the row are compound movements because they use multiple joints, this is an isolation movement because it only uses one joint, which is the elbows. So you're only working on one muscle group rather than multiple. As you get tired, try not to put the back into it, try not to use momentum. But you might have to do a couple of cheap reps at the end, and that's fine as long as you're not exposing the back. And that's the end. Let me know how you got on with that.